So let me get this started. Rachel, did you want to introduce something, or I'm going ahead? All right.
This is your show.
This is my show. All right.
I will try to help with questions in the chat, so you don't have to focus on that. But otherwise, no, totally over to you.
Perfect.
And hi to all the familiar faces, and to those of you that we haven't met before. It's so good to have you on this call.
So I'm sharing my screen. Technically, you should see my screen. We're all good. All right, it came in. So thank you for taking the time to discover all the new features. I'm very excited to introduce all of these features to you. When I saw them happening, I was clapping by myself in my house, yelling. My cats were wondering what was going on, but very exciting features. And a little bit of everything for everybody. Before I even introduce myself, I want to explain how this is going to work. I am not going to demo things. I'm going to introduce all the new features. It is a packed hour. And that's why I put an image of a roadrunner, because I'm going to sound a little bit like a roadrunner, but you are going to get the recording, so you can slow me down on YouTube if you think I went too fast. Or somebody from the French webinar last week told me he actually accelerated my speech on YouTube and watched me like say it even faster. So you can try that. I hope I don't have a chipmunk voice if you do that. You'll also be getting the slides. So as soon as I get the recording, I'll edit, I'll cut the beginning where we're talking about ice and snow and put it on YouTube. And please share with your colleagues who couldn't be there. If they did register, they will be getting the recording and the slides from me. But if they didn't, you can still send them the recording and share it with them. You'll also get lots of clickable links in the presentation. For example, this blog that has all of the announcements. So make sure to go through the presentation and click on the different links that are there. So let me introduce myself. My name is Alexandra Coutley. I'm based close to Montreal. I like to say 30 minutes away from Montreal, or 2 hours with traffic. It depends on what time I leave my house. I'm a former ESL teacher in Quebec and became a tech trainer for a school district for many years. And now I do this completely on my own and give training sessions. And now I'm very lucky today to be giving this training session with Google for Education. We have Rachel that is with us, and she'll take care of my chat for me, although it is open and I will watch for your questions. But if I miss one, she might be actually the roadrunner of the chat and be quicker than I am. My email is in the presentation. Please don't hesitate if you have questions. If you test tools and you have like a quick question, I was trying this out, you mentioned this during your presentation, you are allowed to email me anytime. Please do. And before I start talking about the new features, I want to talk about the Google Educator Groups. If you don't know your GEG, there's one in Alberta, in Toronto, Ontario, the Quebec one that I manage with 2 wonderful friends, and soon a GEG Vancouver. GEGs often organize training sessions. They have usually a place where you can ask questions, collaborate, people share, sometimes even host activities live where you can meet. We had, when was it, Rochelle? I think 2 years ago, we had an event at the Montreal office for our GEG Quebec. So lots of interesting things to follow. So please follow your GEGs. And the clickable links, the Vancouver one is soon to come, and I'll actually make sure that I add the link back to the slides once we get it, but watch for your GEG Vancouver. Quick reminder before I start with all the new features that Gemini for Education has an enterprise level protection, data protection. What does that mean? It means the data that goes into your Gemini for Education and NotebookLM, which is included in it, is not used to train the model. people at Google don't check your conversations. Rochelle will not go check out what you're asking Gemini, so ask away. And you have higher limits with your education account. So lots more limits on creation questions you can ask. You have access to Gemini 3 Pro and Gemini Flash, the latest models. And you have Nano Banana Pro. I don't know if you've tested it out to create images. It is my favorite to create images, and that's available for all editions. I'll grab your attention in a second for a second with this slide. Notice how at the bottom I always have which edition it is used with. I'm going to try to mention it every time, but if I don't, go back to the slide and we'll say, is it Education Plus or is it all editions? If you are fundamentals, it will say all editions, for example. Everything I'm introducing is available worldwide, which means we have it in Canada. So everything I'm introducing today is available, but some is available now. If it's available in the weeks to come, for example, it will mention on the slide. Sometimes I don't have the direct date where it's going to be available, but it will tell you, is it available now or is it coming in the next few weeks? But everything is coming in the next few weeks for sure. And some features are already being rolled out. So I've received the notifications this morning that things were rolling out. So really things are going to happen very fast in your Google environment. The first one is already available. I don't know if you've tested it, and I'd love for you don't have to all open your cameras, I get it, but I'd love for you to use the emojis, the hearts, the thumbs up, the confettis every time you actually love a feature. That will let me know which one you actually loved. It will distract me a little bit, but I'll manage. Don't worry about it. This first one is that the Gemini app can create presentations. So you can actually ask using the canvas mode, Gemini to create a presentation. You can upload the files that you wanted to use or describe what you want, describe the colors and everything. And using the canvas option in Gemini, it will create a Google slide. You can then export to Google Slide and modify everything that you need to modify. And what I actually appreciate is that if it's using images, it will use images that are free to use, and we'll actually add the last slide and name where it grabbed those images. So give credit to the images that it used. So a great way to show students that we're respecting copyright and being good digital citizens. So creating presentations in Gemini. Another one that's available already is verify if an image or video was generated or edited by Google AI. I'll play the video quickly, but you'll see that this is a video that I have. I grab it, I put it in Gemini, and it will actually tell me if this was generated by Gemini and its AI. It works with videos and it works with images as well. It will not detect for now all images on the internet, but images created by Gemini are identified and can be checked using Gemini. Have you used deep research in Gemini? I'd be curious to see who has been using deep research. I love deep research, and I love this new feature that lets you integrate your workspace environment in deep research. So when you start a deep research using Gemini, you can actually add sources, of course, from the internet, but from your Gmail, from Drive, even from your chat. So it can grab elements that you have in your notes, for example, documents that you've saved in your Drive, and add to your deep research report. So available, all editions for everyone, and already available if you go and check it out. Now, I'm not sure if any of you are using Moodle in your organizations, but if you are, Gemini is coming to Moodle. So you will be able to integrate NotebookLM and Gemini using the Moodle environment. So coming soon. I don't have a specific date. I see Daleen is excited about Moodle and Gemini, but it is coming. I thought that was interesting that now you can integrate with other tools like Moodle, which is used a lot in education. Now, how many of you are fans of NotebookLM? I know as a teacher, I wasn't allowed to have favorites, but we all know we do. I'm not allowed to have a favorite Google tool, but I kind of do. NotebookLM is kind of a huge favorite. Lots of new features with NotebookLM. The first one is that NotebookLM is now a source in Gemini. So you can actually, when you ask a question of Gemini, add NotebookLM in your notebooks as a source for its answer. You can always add 10 sources when you're asking a question to Gemini. Well, you can add 10 notebooks, and notebooks can have 50 sources. So that means lots and lots of sources for Gemini to go and get. That's available right now. If you go to Gemini right now, you'll see it, the little plus button, you'll see NotebookLM, then you'll be able to select. And yes, Nicole, 300 sources if you have the Pro. So 300 times 10, that's a lot of sources. So good thing Gemini can actually read all those sources pretty quickly. I don't think I could read 300 sources times 10 as quickly as Gemini. The other one that's available now in NotebookLM is creating infographics. Let me know we're using the emojis if you've tested them out. I've seen so many of them being used in all sorts of contexts to teach grammar, to teach science, to teach lots of different things, illustrate an author, for example. Love, love, love the infographics. Available now in all editions. For 18 plus, notice this new little tag here. I did mention when it was available for teachers, but not in the student version. So for now, for teachers, infographics available for all editions. The other one is the ability to transform your sources into slides. It happened, I guess, a little bit before Christmas, where you can give NotebookLM your sources and it will create a slide deck for you. For now, the slide deck is a PDF slide deck, but you can project your slides directly from NotebookLM. It has like the whole projection thing where you can advance your slides and everything, and it does wonderful graphics as well. So available to everybody. Transform your sources into slides. And this one also showed up a little bit before Christmas, I think. Transform sources into structured data tables. So if you have sources with lots of numbers or date or historical facts, it will transform everything into a chart for you. So pretty neat as well. I know we have some administrative staff on call, so that might be a really interesting one to get your numbers and everything. The other one, kind of similar to the deep research that I showed you that could go into your different sources. Well, you can expand your deep research in NotebookLM with different sources. As you can see, I can search the web, but it can also search for extra new sources, and I can decide if I want to add them to my notebook. Super useful if you're researching a topic, to ask for NotebookLM to go and find more interesting sources that kind of go with the sources that you have already. But of course, you can always pick and choose the ones that you add after this. Now, Gemini is also being integrated more and more with Google Workspace and into your favorite tools. So let's take a look at the integration that is coming now. The first one is the integration with Gemini in Slides. You have access to this if you have Google AI Pro for Education, if you have Teaching and Learning, the Teaching and Learning add-on, or Education Plus, and coming first to 18 plus, so teachers, maybe at some point for students, but let's first test it out as educators. Gemini in Slides allows you, as you can see from my animated GIF or GIF, I don't want to have a fight, one or the other. You can ask Gemini to create slides. One that I really like is it beautifies the slide and gives me images. You can ask for images and then add to your Google slide. But you'll see this little side panel where you can interact with Gemini inside of Google Slide. It will do exactly the same thing in Google Doc. You'll be able to interact with Gemini on a side panel. I saw this being released last week. They announced it was rolling out. So if you don't see it yet, you'll see it very soon. And you'll be able to interact with Gemini on a side panel of Google Doc. This one is probably one of my favorites. Gemini Informs. So it will allow you to describe to Gemini what kind of form you want to create, describe in natural language and just explain what you want it to do, and it will create the form for you. So Gemini Informs. And finally, this one is not Gemini, but I thought it was worth mentioning because it's something that I was very excited to be able to have, and it's available right now. You can stop accepting responses in Google Forms at a specific date. So for example, I could close the form for the registration of this webinar at a particular time, and you can stop accepting responses at a particular number. So this is a very neat feature. We had to do this manually before, or use extensions and try to find duct tape solutions. Now you can actually do it inside of Google Forms. This next one is a series of announcements on Vids. I'd love to see if we love Vids. If Vids is something we're using on a regular basis, give me thumbs ups or hearts or any emoji works actually. Coming soon, you'll be able to prompt Gemini, explain what you want in terms of videos, and it will suggest and create a storyboard complete with suggested scenes, a script, stock videos that it's suggesting. So facilitating the creation of educational videos. And this is for Google AI Pro for Education, Teaching and Learning, Education Plus. So coming soon, it should roll out pretty soon. This next one is interesting as well and available right now, is creating realistic AI avatars in AI Vids. You'll be able to describe what you want your avatar to actually say. So lots of creation tools in Google Vids to create videos. This one will allow you to give up to 3 photos and then ask Google Vids to create a short video, an 8-second video, but with your picture. So see on the screen, you see a dog, then the dog bowl, and a winter wonderland kind of environment. I click on generate, and it generates the dog in a snowy environment. So up to 3 artifacts can be used, 3 pictures, and then you prompt it, and it creates a video. So I can't wait to see the creativity of teachers using this. And of course, Gemini is coming to all your tools, so it is also coming to Google Sheets. I use it all the time to ask Gemini to help me with formulas. I am not a formula person yet. I am learning so much. My husband is the king of formulas, and now I don't need to ask for his help because now I have Gemini, and he's always impressed and saying, how'd you do that? You didn't ask me. No, I asked Gemini. So now I can use Gemini in Google Sheets. Now coming to everyone, so that's available even at Fundamentals. Every edition will get Gemini in Gmail available free of charge. It will help you write emails, give you an AI overview. I love when I have these very long emails and it gives me a summary at the top of the important points. So I know if I need to jump into that email right away. It will give you suggested replies as well. So this is coming to everyone with Gemini in Gmail. Now, I know a few of you are Google AI Pro, so those are features that are reserved to you. This is probably one of my favorites. I do a lot of meetings. I don't know if you have a lot of parent meetings and Google Meet and everything, but the take notes for me is one of my favorite features. Not only does it give me the transcription, it actually summarizes everything and tells me the key points of what I need to follow up on if I need to send an email and everything. Well, now you have the possibility of adjusting the length of the summary that you need. So a longer one or a shorter one in the options. So neat feature. Take notes for me in Google Meet. In Google AI Pro for Education as well, you'll be able to generate an audio of a PDF. Kind of like if you've used the NotebookLM features of creating a podcast style audio notes, same concept, but this time directly from your PDF, you'll see this little icon and you'll say, create an audio overview of this document. Very nice for when we have to read long documents from the Ministry of Education and we need something to summarize it. That means we can take it on the go and go for a walk. So always nice to find a way to get that information, but also maybe a break from the screen. And this last one is for Google AI Pro for Education as well. This one is Gemini in Docs, but you'll get this extra feature where you'll be able to add documents on that side panel to get to maybe like cross-document different information, for example. See how you can add a link, or you can add directly from your drive a document to help you write. So Google AI Pro in Gemini will be grounded in your sources. You'll get this extra little button here for this. Now, this one is very geeky, but I love this one, and I've been testing it out for the last couple of months, and it will allow you, this is for all editions, although Education Plus, Standard, Teaching and Learning, and Google AI, you'll get a little bit more usage out of it. So you'll be able to do a little bit more, but everybody will be able to test it out. This Google Workspace Studio allows you to automate things. For example, like label emails in Gmail and automate a gem that might answer that email and create a draft. Now, you'll need to explore how this can help you, but it saves a lot of time. For example, I automated a little agent in Google Workspace Studio that gives me a summary of all the email exchanges I've had with somebody and sends me a message in my Google chat an hour before that meeting with a summary of everything we've discussed so far. And yeah, there are some preset examples to try, so that helps. If it's not super clear, I invite you to go and check out the preset examples first and see what they give you. It works with Calendar, it works with your Gmail, it works with Gemini, of course, and can get Gemini to help you with different things. But super neat tool that's going to save us lots of time, especially on those administrative tasks that are part of education, of course. Now, Gemini is also coming with an extra feature that will allow you to talk to Google Classroom. This one is coming in the upcoming weeks. You could already talk to lots of different tools in Gemini with the @ symbol. You could say, search my drive, for example, and look up information I have on this or that. It talks to Google Keep, which is one of my favorites. It talks to your calendar. You could say, could you add a meeting to my calendar? But now it will talk to Google Classroom. So you'll be able to ask Gemini questions about what are the top assignments I've given in the past few weeks, for example, or could you help me draft an assignment in Google Classroom, and it will follow the structure and help you draft an assignment. So look for that @ symbol. It will be available to everyone in English only. So if you have French teachers like me, you'll have to wait a little bit and get all your English teachers to test it out first. But look for in the upcoming week, when you type that @ symbol, Classroom will also be part of what you can add to Gemini. Access to Gemini in Classroom is also coming to Android and iOS, so you'll be able to use Gemini in Classroom on your phones and tablets and on the go. So that's coming soon as well. Do we all know what I mean by Gemini in Classroom, with all those wonderful tools that we can use in Classroom to generate lesson plans and rubrics and lots of different things, like this one that's brand new and that I really like, This one is creating an audio lesson. So this is what I mean by Gemini in Classroom, lots of little tools that we can use. This one creates an audio lesson. Right now I'm entering the target grade, the topic. It will generate lesson objectives. And then I'll be able to personalize which voice and which avatar I want to use for my audio lesson. It will give me a transcript and then give me an audio that I can send to students in Classroom. So to differentiate learning quickly, super easily, love this one, audio lesson in your Gemini for classroom tools. Now, you probably already know that if students have access to Gemini and NotebookLM, we can share, for example, gems with them, so little agents that we created, and we can share it to students, or we can create a notebook and then share it with students. So that was already available for everybody. But what's coming for Teaching and Learning and Education Plus is getting insights on what's going on once they consult my notebook and once they use my gem. You'll see things like who has not opened it yet, who has opened it, who has started a conversation. And this one I really like. What were the top questions that were asked to my gem or my notebook? So you'll get an insight into what they are using it and how they are using it. And that's coming very soon. You can already share them. You get some information as to if they opened it or not, but what's coming is even more insights with like the topics that were engaged, the top questions, and so forth. So very useful to see what is going on there. Are we liking it so far? Enough new features? So, the next one is available right now, and I thought it was worth mentioning because it makes, I think, educators' lives a lot easier. When you're in Google Classroom and you want to upload an evaluation grid, you used to have to either type it up or do it in Google Sheets in a specific format. Well, now you can import any of your grids and it will convert it. It can be a PDF or it can be a file on your drive, and it will convert it into the correct format to integrate to a classroom assignment. So bringing rubrics to every assignment a lot faster. So Greg is applauding. I am applauding as a former ESL teacher, not having to do all of this in Google Sheet or copying and pasting. I can just give it the PDF of my evaluation grid, transform it for me. We love when we save time this way. In the coming weeks, this is also coming to Google Classroom, where Gemini is going to give you suggested feedback on the assignment. Of course, the teacher always has the final call, can regenerate, can modify the suggested feedback, but you'll get a first suggestion of feedback here. You'll enter the grade and you'll enter what type of feedback you want to focus on, and it will help you generate the actual feedback. And then you can post it, of course, to the student, but we'll get help on being even more efficient with feedback. This is in the coming weeks. I haven't seen the official release date unless Rachel has seen the official release date, but I'm sure it's coming very soon. Gemini in Classroom. Now, lots of new features coming to Classroom. Not necessarily, I know I kind of got you hooked on my webinar with new features for Gemini and NotebookLM. These ones are in Classroom and not necessarily Gemini and NotebookLM, but I thought they were worth mentioning as well. And this is probably my very favorite, makes me want to quit what I'm doing. I know Rochelle won't be happy if I quit what I'm doing and go back to class just to be able to use that again. Now, rolling out right now, and I've seen it, I've seen the release date, so it's rolling out. So some of you are going to start seeing it in your Education Plus and Teaching and Learning editions. You'll start to see audio and video recording integrated into the assignments, the newsfeed, and for students to give you audio and video. Now, let me show you what I mean exactly by this. Here we have the feed. I'm, as a teacher, want to record a message for my students. I choose audio. 3, 2, 1. I start my audio and attach it to my newsfeed. I can do that with assignments as well. If you saw my video, you could also choose to record a video. So it can be a short video explaining the assignments. I don't need to go with other extensions, copy paste links or anything. Everything is integrated directly in Google Classroom. And there's even a screen recording that you can do as well. So if you want to teach students where they can go and get this resource or how to use something, you won't have to use external tools. Of course, this does not replace Google Vids where you want to do video editing and everything. This is more for quick announcements and quick feedback. So in the feed, in the stream of Google Classroom, you have access to this. When you are doing an assignment, you'll have access to it as well. So let's take a look at this assignment in this video. Record audio, you'll start. Notice that 5-minute maximum, probably long enough for students to listen. I've seen teachers use it for dictation, for example, dictating a text and students having to retype what they're listening. I've seen it for quick audio instructions. And this one I really like when using and correcting, like giving feedback on assignments, you'll have it as well. So this is in Google Slide. The students has submitted their work. And notice where I have my private comments, I can now decide to record video feedback for the student, audio feedback, or screen recording feedback directly into the comment. And when I'm done, I can just post and the student will have access to it. And talking about the students will have access to it as well. So you could request, for example, for a student to show their work or explain their process using a video or using audio. We see that a lot with AI. I want you to explain how you use AI for this assignment. Ask them to share their screen. Ask them to use audio. So when they attach their work, notice how they could attach a doc, a Google Slide, Sheets, or so forth. Well, now there will be a new section where they can attach audio, video, or screen recording directly. So no having to cut and paste, nothing, everything integrated super easily. And you can ask for, I want your written work, but I also want a video of you explaining the process behind the writing of your story, for example. And now we have something very rich for students to show their learning. To me, that's a very exciting feature. I hope you're as excited as I am. So not a Gemini in NotebookLM. I know I cheated, but I needed to talk about that one. So you'll also see it is piloting now, so not in the coming weeks for this one. They are piloting the whole thing and then we'll release. So we'll probably see it this year, I would assume, a new redesigned classroom homepage. So there will be a different homepage, for example, for educators and for students. An educator might see what's recently due, for example. A student might see the homework they have left to do. So a redesigned homepage. We haven't had a new homepage for many, many years in Google Classroom. So you'll see, depending on if you're a school leader, the educator view or the student view, the views are going to be different. So that, watch out for that this year. It is piloting now for some schools who are testing it out and giving feedback, and we'll see it right after. This one I'm also very excited about as an educator. The ability to tag your learning standards in classroom. So to really tag and identify what it is you are working on, the competencies you're working on, your learning goals and your learning standards. And it is piloting now in Canada. What you'll see at the top of my screen, the QR code, they are looking for schools who would like to give feedback on all these standards. We know standards are very different from one province to another. So we'd love for it to be very precise. But what you see on my little animated GIF or GIF is the ability for a teacher to not only tag the assignment, but then go to the grades page and see which standards have I been evaluating so far, have I been working on so far. So transparency for the students and nice overview for the teacher as well. I see that Rachel is taking care of the chat. Rachel, please stop me if I need to intervene, but I think you're doing a great job. So new features as well in read along. I don't know if you're fans of read along. I am very jealous because my teachers teach in French and it's not available yet in French. We would love to be able to use it. If you're not familiar with read along, go check it out. It is available for Education Plus and Teaching and Learning. Great tool and lots of new upgrades. The ability to generate your own stories. You can ask for Gemini to help write a story that really interests your students on a particular topic. Include a vocabulary list that you are reviewing. I see a lot of second language teachers using read along as well, because it is also available in Spanish. So if you have Spanish teachers, lots of great possibilities to use read along. ChromeOS and Chromebooks also have new features. I know I have a few IT people with me. You'll be happy to know that there's a new simplified way to flex your device. What does that mean, to flex my device? It means to take an outdated device, could be other types of device like Windows devices, for example, that like have lived their lives and can now have a new life, becoming a Chromebook. So becoming a Chrome OS device. And they have simplified the whole process with remote deployment. So nice to check out. And this is available right now. So if you have old devices that you'd like to turn into Chromebooks, very great solution to be able to give them a new life. Do some of you use class tools? I'd be curious to see if I have some class tools users. Do we know what I'm talking about when I mean class tools, which is a management system that is very appreciated by teachers, that allows you to push out resources, for example, or to help students focus on a particular resource. So one thing that's coming to class tools is the ability to screen share. So to screen share from one device to another, to be able to share with your students. For example, so to mirror the content from any teacher or student device to a screen or an interactive display. Class tool, new feature. And this one, that's pretty neat as well, the ability to annotate anywhere on your screen using class tools. So great feature. Notice on my slides, sometimes there's a learn more. It brings you to a page that details everything. I know I have some IT people. It tells you what you need to turn on in the admin console and everything. It also tells you the release dates. So click on the slides when you want to know more about a feature. You'll have the slides in your email. Tonight, if I can, if not, early tomorrow morning, it will be in your email and you'll be able to go and check it out to get even more info on the feature that you are particularly looking forward to. And we added these extra sessions that are super interesting. You need to register. They're all free and you can watch the recording. I pretty much attend every single one of those trainings. They're usually very short. They're 30-minute trainings. There are some training sessions for IT people, for admin, and for educators, so you can get to choose. And there's a new edition coming up. If I'm taking, let me take a look at some of the sessions coming up to tell you about it. There's some starting at the end of February. And of course, the recordings are going to be available. There's one on all the new announcements. You've already seen all the new announcements, but if you want to see them again, given by somebody else, there's one on the 26th of February. Technical tips on how to manage Gemini and Google AI across the Chrome platform for IT admin. Creating classroom content with Gemini for Education. Remember that podcast that I showed in Gemini for Classroom. So there's one coming up on that. Rashad, did you put the link already in the chat? I'll put it after.
No, actually, I'll do that right now, but I can add, Alexandra, that for any of you who have participated in these web series of different trainings in the past know how valuable it is. For those of you that haven't, check it out. I am getting a lot of requests for Gemini training from right across the country from all the different school boards. And while we, of course, want to try to facilitate as much of that as possible over the rest of the school year and over the next school year and years to come, as you know, we are a very small team in Canada, and this would be a great complement to what we're not able to offer. These get recorded, as Alexandra said. You can share the recordings out with your teachers, with your school division, school boards, school district leaders, to showcase that this is a useful tool. And they're going to be shorter and more bite-sized 30-minute sessions in the coming months. So just encourage everyone to check this out as a complement to any of the training that you're already doing with educators. And we're going to be offering more as well, like we're doing today with Alexandra. We're going to look through that list being offered by the EDU On Air team, and we'll find complementary things to do. One of our goals, of course, as the Canada team, is to offer things in English and in French. So we will be doing that, so you can extend invitations to both your French boards, your French immersion teachers, and also to English-speaking educators as well. But we want to make sure we're covering both communities in that case. So I guess 2 signups here to be aware of. The previous slide is for the Google for Education North America-wide trainings that happen at different time zones for different people all over the US and Canada at once. And then the next page is more the Google for Education Canada driven programming that sometimes will be repetitive to what you see at a North American level. We try to infuse it, of course, with a little Canadian flavor, not just being bilingual, but also making sure we're addressing some of the locally relevant issues and tools we know that are being used more than maybe some others in other parts of the world. So that's where you're going to want to sign up for this. Just a quick feedback form on today's session, and leave your email address if you are going to grant permission for us to reach out to you for those Canadian things. I recognize it's a bit irritating to sign up for 2 things, but if you can do us that little service, it gives me the ability to reach out to you directly when we're doing things in Canada. So you'll have this deck, so you can go and click on those things if you don't have your cell phone with you right now. I don't know if Alexandra put the link. We can also share the links directly. If you guys have any questions, I'll get the links in there right now. But Alexandra has been playing with all these new features for the past few weeks because she's had access to things through other accounts. So please feel free to ask her any questions, and I'll get all those links in the chat. So while you sit here and we wrap up, you can fill in those forms if you so want to participate in our future sessions.
And you'll receive an email from me with the slide deck, with the recording. If you do know of French immersion teachers that you think would benefit from a French session, we gave one last week, and I can send you the recording as well. Just reply to the email that I send you and say, could I have the French webinar as well? I'll be happy to include it and send it to you. It was basically the same session, except I did not present things that were not available in French, so a bit different, of course. But don't hesitate to share the recording with anybody. That's what it's there for. And like Rochelle said, email me back. You are never bugging me. There are no such things as stupid questions. A quick email, I'll screen capture, show you where it is, or I'll jump on a call with you. I'll be super happy to help.
And I'll just add, Alexandra, know what we can do? We can just add the link to the French recording to this deck. Sure. So that everybody has access to it if they think in the future it would be useful.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. We're available for questions if